Hi guys and girls, Gallifrey07 here. Welcome to my review of Out of Time #1. This sees the 10th Doctor and 4th Doctor come together in a multi-Doctor story with the Daleks. That's all you need to know. So it's part of a new trilogy of stories with the 10th Doctor meeting old monsters and other Doctors. More about that near the end. It was released today, listened to it this morning. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on the story. Talk about all the characters, the Daleks and all the elements at play. I'll give you the official synopsis to catch you up, giving you a rough summary. The Cathedral of Contemplation is an enigma, existing outside time. It turns through history, opening its doors across the universe to offer solace to those in need. Occasionally the Doctor drops in when he's avoiding his destiny. It's an ideal place to get some perspective, only this time he's already there from several lives earlier. So when dimension barriers break down, his past and present collide. And when the Daleks invade and commandeer the Cathedral, two Doctors must unite to stop them or face extermination twice over. Start with the Cathedral of Contemplation. It's kind of like a timey-wimey version of the Heaven Sent Castle, but a cathedral, which also gives very beautiful kind of visual template in your head. All these like great echoing sounds of the voices, massive doors opening, etc. So it's a really cool, interesting setting for the story. First I want to talk about the side characters before I go on to like the Daleks and the Doctor stuff. So we have Claire Rushbrook, who played Ida Scott in the Impossible Planet / Satan Pit 2-parter. She plays the Abyss, who's in charge of the cathedral, and she has a really big presence over the Doctor. Although the Doctor puts up a fight, he kind of respects her. It is quite funny to see someone have an powering side to the Doctor. And she also plays a character called Mana, who's a pilot, part of these soldiers that are up against the Daleks. She's quite a leading, energetic person, and the Doctor kind of points that out and like highlights her for it. But she has a really nice scene actually with Azura, who is another character in this. The two kind of share common ground. She gives her a bit of advice. Azura is played by Catherine Drysdale, who was in Other Monsters. We find at the start of the story with Tom's Doctor, but she goes on a really great arc on the story with many different themes at play. She's definitely, I think, probably the strongest side character of the story. We find at the start of the story, like running away, and she's obviously with the Doctor in confinement. And we see her with the 10th and 4th Doctor, like telling bits about herself, her struggles. She's kind of put in a situation where she doesn't want to be that person. But it's a great symbology for things like being put in a position like, oh, people have this expectation of you because of like A, B, and C. But she's like, no, I'm doing my own thing. And at the end, she kind of comes round. And yeah, it's a really nice arc and great character to follow alongside the story. And then finally we have Nicholas Ashbury, who played a Zygon in the Series 9 Zygon 2-parter. He plays Captain Xena, who's very regimental but has a personal stakes in the mission while they're at the cathedral. And secondly, he voices Abyss's apprentice, Kivul, who's very timid. At the beginning, he's very like, oh my god, what am I doing? But throughout the story, there's a few occasions where he does have to go out of his comfort zone, and I think he grows, obviously, as a character for that by the end. It's a really great setting, and really great strong characters to invest in between the moments of the Daleks and all the multi-Doctor story stuff. On to the Daleks now, which are fantastic. Daleks being Daleks. Some really cool stuff that they do. They're perfect for this story because obviously we know the Daleks pretty well at this point. Obviously they started when the show did. They got some really ruthless and sassy moments as well. There's some really great little bits of dialogue in there between the Daleks and people describing the Daleks as well. But obviously for the 4th and 10th Doctors to meet, they need a really big threat. Like the Avengers films, for example, there's got to be a big reason for why they have to come together. This momentous crossover with two of the most iconic Doctors, to be honest, it's just a perfect choice. The army of Daleks, like the normal Daleks that go around, they're like the 70s Daleks. But we have the Supreme Dalek, which is the red and gold Supreme Dalek that we've seen in the Series 4 finale, The Stolen Earth and Journey's End, and also the Series 9 opener, The Magician's Apprentice and Witch's Familiar. I was expecting there to be an explanation, but there is none, I don't believe, unless I did miss it. I think it's just for like artistic choice. I think that's what I took it as. Have a Daleks from both eras. They're a great villain, absolutely love them. They work obviously great on audio, with obviously the sort of different variations. There's great opportunities to see them killing people. There's no kind of moral thing then. They have to go too in depth with like, oh, why are they doing this? Like, Daleks are Daleks. That this is just what they do. They just exterminate and want dominance. One of my highlight moments, I think, is when a Dalek comes back from the Fourth Doctor, managed to get some scaffolding on a group of Daleks, and this one survived, and it's managed to get back to like the Supreme Dalek is trying to make him like report what's happened, and he does manage to get through it, but he's complaining about being in pain. That's just a really cool aspect I like. I thought that was a really cool, funny / new look at the Daleks. Now on to the Doctors. So the great meeting of Tom Baker and David Tennant's Doctor. I don't want to spoil specifically where they are in their own timelines, but they're both in like a transition period of their lives, and obviously they come to this Cathedral of Contemplation for a specific reason. And it's a bit like Twice Upon a Time in a way, where they're both experiencing something fairly similar, not as similar as like regeneration, but a kind of similar attitudes. When they first meet, obviously the 10th Doctor knows, like, oh no, this is the 4th Doctor. Oh my goodness. And he is kind of like treading very slowly about revealing stuff. The 4th Doctor asks, like, who are you? And he's like, oh, John Smith. Oh, Tyler. Obviously referencing Rose Tyler, obviously the pseudonym that the Doctor uses. They both comment on like each other's thing. The 4th Doctor's in great banter, like saying, oh, where have you got this like hero complex from? Kind of like a meta reference between like, the classic series and new series in a way. And the 10th Doctor's like a parent's type figure to the 4th Doctor in some things. Obviously the 4th Doctor's like put himself forward to do stuff, and the 10th Doctor's like, oh, that might be dangerous. Like obviously he's thinking about if he dies, then he's not going to be there. So he's kind of looking at that perspective. While the 4th Doctor's like, yeah, it'll be alright, don't worry, I'll just regenerate, it's fine. But obviously the 10th Doctor's like, no, you need to keep everything in place. There was a line from the 4th Doctor which gave me a real like spine-chilling moment. It's where he's confronted by Captain Xeno, who's about to pull out a gun, and he threatens him by saying like, I promise you, what you're fighting will look like child's play if you dare get that gun out your holster. But yeah, just some really funny banter between two. It's everything you want. There's so many Easter eggs. The 10th Doctor does some quite emotional moments as well. They both do, really. There's one moment at the end specifically, which is a really emotional gut punch. It comes out of like nowhere, and it's like, oh, of course, wow. That really got me at the end. There's some really great team-ups, like using the Sonics. Mind connection. I'll be all day sort of being like, oh, that moment was great, that moment was great. Overall, it's such a fantastic, magnificent, fun adventure, uniting these two Doctors. The story itself, like, is really good. I have literally no complaints. It's not me being biased at all that the 4th Doctor and 10th Doctor back. There was honestly nothing wrong. Like, I love the setting, but there's some great character moments which really space it out lovely, and you're really invested in that as well, along with like the Daleks. The Daleks of Rail are a really great effect, really well utilised. Their plan's simple, allowing space for the 4th or 10th Doctor to unite. With some really comedic moments, emotional moments, which took me by surprise. It's a must-buy release, I'd say, from Big Finish. I already pre-ordered this straight away, but it does not disappoint. So that's my review for Out of Time 1. If you've not yet, you can have a look in the description below to go onto Big Finish website and order it. You can also order it as like a bundle with the 2 other releases that are coming next year and then in 2022. I didn't realise they're that so far apart when I pre-ordered the bundle. But the next one's going to be with the 5th Doctor, and it's going to feature the Cybermen. And the 3rd and final one is going to be with the 6th Doctor and the Weeping Angels. But it's like the granddaddy of crossovers, and as I said, it does not disappoint. You're going to get everything you wanted from this and more. But if you listen to it yet, let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. Love to read and see what people think of this. In this video, you can have a look at my Stranded 1 box set review for Big Finish. I'm slowly getting there with more Big Finish stuff. I think due to like lockdown and obviously Doctor Who not being on at the minute. I'm listening to the 0 to 50 ones at the minute, so getting through them. This is really great for if you've never listened to Big Finish before. This is like a must-buy release for people who don't regularly get it. And for like newcomers, which I can start related to. I'm starting to get more and more into certain bits. But for like, if you've never listened to a Big Finish before, you don't need to listen to anything else. This would be great as like a standalone thing. But also as part as like a trilogy. As always, please comment, like, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Links to our stuff in the description below. Until next time, bye bye.